time. Earlier this year, Wickler ran unsuccessfully to be the next Democratic National Committee chairman. He says he's not ruling out future runs in politics. Former state Democratic Party Executive Director Devin Remacher announced he's running to replace Wickler, and Democratic strategist Joe Zepecki has suggested he's considering a run. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
There are now more than 700 confirmed cases of the measles across 24 states in our country. That's according to new data from the CDC. ABC's Chuck Severston.
There are more than double the number of measles cases in the first quarter of this year than all of last year. It's the highest number of cases since 2019, which saw over 1,200. If this year's cases continue to grow at this rate, they'll surpass that number. The U.S. declared measles eliminated in 2000 due to no continuous spread over 12 months. That could change.
2 children have died from the measles outbreak in Texas. Time for some news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The market looking better today. Everything is up, at least for now. The Dow is up past the 40,000 mark right now. It is up 686 points to 40,280. S&P 500 is up 97 points to 5,365. And the NASDAQ is up 323 points to 16,711. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Only 2 games remain on the Bucks' regular season schedule. Both are against the Detroit Pistons. The Bucks need 1 win to secure the number 5 position in the Eastern Conference playoffs.
I'm looking forward to it. I think the crowd in Detroit's going to be amazing. They're going to play hard. They're going to play well, and we're going to have to match it. I can't pick up a better scenario going into the playoffs.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 5:30 right here on WTMJ. After taking 2 of 3 against the Rockies, the Milwaukee Brewers begin a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks down in Arizona tonight. Both teams are 7-6 on the season. Here tonight's game on WTMJ with coverage starting at 8:05. Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. It has not been so pretty on the roads this afternoon. And we're still dealing with this crash. I-94 East at County F in Waukesha County. The right lane is blocked due to a crash. And this is one of those crashes. It just looks messy. You've got a big truck involved. I do see, though, that a couple of the other cars... Nope, that car is still there. A couple cars involved in this one, including a truck. I do see that it looks like there's another truck that's about to get one of the cars up on top and tow that one away, but traffic is just creeping along very slow. So a heads up in case you're headed that way. This is in Waukesha County. I-94 East at County F, right lane is blocked due to this crash, and it is slow going.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The successful Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring positive professional servers and bartenders. You'll make great cash. Inquire today. Start next week. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, mostly sunny, high of 47 by the lake, 53 inland. Tonight, mostly clear and frosty, a low of 34. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasant. How about that? High of 54 by the lake, 60 inland. Sunday, our clouds will increase, and there is a slight chance for some rain. High of 56 on Sunday by the lake, 64 inland. Monday, partly cloudy, breezy, slight chance for rain in the morning hours. High of 59 on Monday. Tuesday, high of 48, partly cloudy and breezy. We're now up to 48 degrees here in Milwaukee. Kenosha sitting at 52, and Mequon is 48. I'm Jessica Ty. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:09.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State. Here's your host, Kristin Brey.
Good afternoon and a very happy Friday to you. Happy Friday, Rhea. How you feeling?
You know, I'm hanging in there.
You're hanging in there. We absolutely, we're doing it. We're doing it today. All right. Well, coming up today in the second hour, this is one of my, I don't know if I want to say favorite, but I don't know how often this happens. So obviously the story from last week's election, Susan Crawford won, Jill Underly won, so some of the statewide races. But obviously there was also a lot of aldermanic races and local elections. And one alderperson or alder in Madison who had suspended her campaign. So Nina Martinez Rutherford had suspended her campaign for re-election, endorsed her opponent, and still won by 200 votes. So I don't know how often that actually happens, because as we all know, after RFK Jr. in the fall tried to get his name off of the ballot, you cannot do that in Wisconsin unless you have died. And so her name was still on the ballot. She won. And is she going to take the seat? We're going to talk to her at 2:15 today to see what that was like, what her reaction was, and where she goes from here. And then for today's game, since it is Friday, we're going to do some news trivia. So how closely have you been paying attention to some of the local, national, and even international things that went down this week? So that'll be at the end of today's show, like we do on every Friday. But first, what a whirlwind this week has been for not only for everyone, right? Unless you've just decided to not try to stay up to date with the tariffs on and off and the stock market. But I know, at least for myself, I have a bit of a headache from trying to understand the stock markets and global economies and bonds and yields and what is happening. And now it feels like we are going through a very high profile divorce with China. And obviously this is decades of, tense but mutually beneficial trade relationship. So for us in the U.S., it seems like we've essentially just invited all of our mutual friends over and changed the locks before China got home from work. But of course, so we know that as of Wednesday, President Trump issued a 90-day pause on his reciprocal tariffs for every country except China after Beijing failed to budge on its retaliatory tax in the U.S. So right now, unless it's changed, it's 145% duty on Chinese imports. And so this is basically 600, I can't even wrap my head around this number, $600 billion worth of goods exchanged between us and China. And so as I've been trying to, I am not an economist, I am not a finance bro. And so some of this is me constantly trying to read this and give myself an education as we're going along so that I can talk about this somewhat intelligently. But from what I've been reading, this basically could shut down trade between the two largest economies in the world, hurting them, hurting us, upsetting the international economic order. And it kind of feels like a big game of chicken of which country can outlast the other. And I think depending on who you talk to, who has more to lose. And, this show is supposed to be about Wisconsin. So how does this impact Wisconsin industries? when we talk about manufacturing, when we talk about agriculture, our two biggest industries. So when we come back, we're going to talk to an agricultural economist to dive a little bit deeper on what this means for dairy and agriculture in Wisconsin. So stay with us on Spanning the State.
Springtime DIY is in full bloom at Fleet Farm. 3-pound bags of Superior grass seed are on sale for just $9.99. 32-pound bags of Superior wheat and feed are sale priced at $19.99. Plus, buy an M18 5-amp rechargeable battery starter kit and get a select Milwaukee Bear tool for free. In-store only. Indoor, outdoor. Handle all your DIY needs at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi. We're out at the Wheel and Sprocket 2025 Bike Expo sale. Amelia Cagle, owner of Wheel and Sprocket, joins us. Why should people come out here?
This is the nation's largest bike sale here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have over 2,000 bikes ready to ride.
I love the fact that it's the largest. I didn't even know that.
We're overachievers here in the Midwest, you guys.
And I can already see, I'm just looking at some of these Trek bikes, $349. That's like unbelievable pricing.
This is the best time to buy a bike, for sure.
All right, it's free admission, too.
Oh, absolutely.
And by the way, the food's good. I had some food on the way in. So I'm excited. We're here all weekend. WTMJ, Wheel and Sprocket, all the bikes, accessories. There's cool trips and stuff. Come on out. Wheel and Sprocket's 2025 Bike Expo sale at State Fair Park. The big building. You know where it is if you go to State Fair. Amelia, we'll talk again in a couple minutes.
Sounds great.
All right, WTMJ.
Brewers baseball is here. Time to pick your Brewers games and get back to the ballpark for tailgate traditions and walk-off wins. Don't miss any of the big games or the superstars. And come back for the best giveaways. Where else would you want to be? Brewers tickets for the 2025 season are on sale now. That's every game all summer long. Get on board for the show today. Grab your seats at brewers.com/ticket finder.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristin Brey, and it has been a whirlwind of a week when it comes to our economy, our stock market, what's up, what's down, how's your 401k looking, but how is it looking for Wisconsin's biggest industries, one of which specifically agriculture. And so I wanted to talk to someone who knows a lot more about it than I do. So Chuck Nicholson is an agricultural economist with extensive experience studying the dairy industry and food systems and producing research relevant to producers and public policymakers. And he joins us now to discuss the impacts of tariffs on the dairy industry in Wisconsin. So welcome to the show, Chuck.
Hey, great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I guess before we dive into the world now, can you kind of summarize the ecosystem of trade when it comes to the dairy industry? Like, what do we import? What do we export? To which countries?
Sure. So points that I like to have people know are that the main source of growth in the U.S. dairy industry over the last 10 to 20 years has really been through export markets. And our three main trading partners in order are Mexico, Canada, and China. And sometimes Canada and China take places, but all of them are important. They account for nearly half of the total exports of dairy product by value from the United States. We export great stuff like Wisconsin cheese. We export lots of other products that are more like used for making infant formula, like dry whey products, and milk powders and stuff like that. We actually have particularly strong trading relationships in the past with China to export those products to them. But there's a similar sort of storyline going on with Canada as well in terms of what we sell to them.
Got it. And so, and where are we right now? Because it's been hard to grasp. So Mexico and Canada were not on President Trump's big billboard, but there is still a 25% tariff with them right now, or is that on hold?
Yeah, so it always gets a little confusing about who's doing what in which tariff. So what I think about as being more important for the impacts on Wisconsin agriculture are what are Canada and China doing in terms of the tariffs they're putting on our products. And right now for dairy, Canada has the 25% tariff on stuff that we actually didn't used to have. It was 0. And China did have some of their tariffs, but now those are up to the 125% plus or minus which is much larger, obviously, than it used to be. So given that those are two major export destinations for U.S. dairy products, those tariffs are not going to be helpful for us in terms of being price competitive with other suppliers in global markets.
Got it. So it sounds, I mean, at least the way you've answered the question so far, it sounds like potentially more concern on the cost of what our exports are going to be because of the tariffs put on us versus how expensive things are going to be for farmers trying to buy imports.
Right. So, yeah, it gets to be a little bit of a complicated thing because one of the key costs for dairy farms is feed. If we are also able to sell less feed to our major trading partners, that actually might bring the cost of those key feed items, think about corn and soybeans, down a bit. That actually might be a little bit of an offsetting thing. Prices for dairy products, if we can't sell as many of them outside the U.S., could also be a bit lower for domestic consumers. But with that, though, comes the potential for some pretty significant negative impacts on farm milk prices and farm profitability. So there's a lot of moving pieces here of stuff moving in different directions. We might see some lower costs for things like feed. Might see some lower prices for dairy products as a result. Things like equipment that we import from other places, and in some cases, things like fertilizers might be more expensive. So how that all nets out can be a little bit tricky to think about, especially given how quickly all this stuff is evolving.
Absolutely. And what about, because I was reading, so I think this is between agriculture and manufacturing, but like it's 10% of our workforce. And so do you think this will impact jobs in the agricultural space in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think maybe there will be some job impact. If we think about higher labor on dairy farms, there's a significant amount of that. I don't actually see that being something that's going to be dramatically affected by this, even though we might see some lower farm milk prices and some lower profitability. Where we might see some impact on that is sort of related industries. So industries that supply inputs to dairy or other parts of agriculture might not have as many job opportunities here going forward.
Got it. So I feel like there's been multiple hits that affect farmers so far. I mean, there's been the tariffs, there's a freeze on the USDA programs, and then also a shutdown of spending by for USAID. And so as far as ranking what affects either farmers in general in Wisconsin or the dairy in general, or specifically, what do you think is the hardest pill to swallow right now?
Yeah, well, I think about three kind of main areas of impact. So tariffs are probably the most important.
Okay.
Programs that might affect the availability of labor for dairy farms and dairy processing businesses, actually, and other food processing businesses. We have a big meat processing industry here in the state of Wisconsin. The access to labor could be a critical factor for actually just making things work in your operation, as well as the costs. If you have to find new people, recruit them, train them, those things all involve some costs. And the third thing that I think gets maybe a little bit less attention is there's been discussions, but not yet a lot of action on the amount of money we spend on food and nutrition programs that provide income to people to buy food when they are in need of that. There's been a lot of talk about making cuts to that. We actually move a lot of dairy products, especially fluid milk products, through those programs, like a school breakfast and a school lunch program. So one way to think about what we're doing with tariffs, and when our trading partners decide they're going to hit us back with those, we reduce the demand for our products in those export markets. Well, somewhat similarly, when we cut the spending on food nutrition programs, we reduce the demand by people here in the U.S. And whenever we reduce that demand, that tends to have a dampening effect on product prices, which maybe saves some consumers some money, but also then gets reflected in the farm milk price and the profitability of dairy farms. So again, a lot of moving pieces, but I think of tariffs first, the potential for issues with labor access, and food nutrition spending is kind of the top three things that would have a big impact.
Have you had a chance to talk to many farmers as far as how they're feeling right now?
I actually talk more kind of with the organizations that represent farmers, like the dairy cooperatives, the trade industry associations. I do a little bit of work actually also dabbling in soybeans here and there. And the general consensus is there's a great deal of concern, partly because of the actions that have been taken so far and its potential for sort of negative impacts on farm profitability, but also the uncertainty itself of kind of moving around so much from one position to another is really difficult, or makes it really difficult for people to make management decisions for their business. So you can maybe not think of it quite as a paralysis, but it really puts a damper on trying to figure out what to do if you're not sure what the current situation is going to be and how you can best position your business to meet that current situation. So it's quite a challenging time based on the conversations that I've been having with different organizations, kind of within Wisconsin, but also nationwide.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not the only industry that's like, what are we going to do in very uncertain times right now. But thank you so much for joining us today, Chuck.
Sure. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Chuck Nicholson is an agricultural economist at the UW-Madison in the Animal and Dairy Sciences and Agricultural and Applied Economics School. All right, we'll be back with more after this.
Brewers baseball is the sound of summer in Milwaukee. And now you can catch the Brewers on local TV for select Tuesday night games.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she
It's
goes!
Brew Crew Tuesdays. On April 15th, the Crew take on the Detroit Tigers at 6:40 p.m.
Half swing. He went. Another strikeout for Freddie Peralta.
This Brew Crew Tuesday is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. See the action on Fox 6 in Milwaukee and check your local listings for where you can watch over the air statewide on April 15th.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's time for you and that diamond to come alive again.
At the 4th annual Spring Ring Cleaning at Kessler's.
Even if you have a good ultrasonic jewelry cleaner, it can't match the pressurized steam cleaning we do at Kessler's.
Let us steam clean and polish your engagement ring.
For free.
I'm Joe Gerke, president of Kessler's, and we want to strip away all the soap scum that is making your diamond look dull.
For free. And while we're doing it, we'll inspect the prongs on your ring to make sure your diamond isn't about to fall out.
It's the 4th annual Spring Ring Cleaning at Kessler's.
Here's another idea. Bring us anything you own that needs to be repaired, and we'll give you a price to make it like new again.
And if you have some old jewelry you don't wear anymore,
We can make something unique and wonderful out of it.
unique in all the world.
Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristin Brey, and I'm curious as we, like I said, very uncertain times, not knowing what's going to spike in prices. But if you're already making different consumer choices, buying choices, I feel like in the last week I've seen multiple news outlets put out different shopping lists as far as if you should buy now or wait, trying to understand what tariffs are going to be on what food and tech. and apparel. And one piece of advice I got, or I read, was that if you're a wine drinker, or if you're a tequila drinker, or if you're a beer drinker, that imported beverages could be impacted. And which beer, Rhea, which beer do you think is the number one imported beer into the U.S.?
Ooh, I would say, is it not Dos Equis? That's definitely not it. There's like a Spanish beer that people
there
like
is
a lot?
You're close.
Modelo?
It is Modelo. It's which it was funny because when I was reading this, I was like, obviously that's from Mexico, but I'm pretty sure Corona's brewed and packaged in the U.S.
Is it?
I don't think Corona's a Mexican product.
Oh wow!
It's false advertising. It's kind of like, what's the Australian Foster's? I don't think Foster's is made in Australia.
I don't know what a Foster's is.
You don't know what a Foster's is?
No.
It's a Foster's. It's Australian for beer. You've never seen those commercials?
So I thought you were going to say shoes.
No. It'd be interesting to see 855-616-1620, Study Unlimited, WTMJ talk and text line. Let me know. Are you changing your buying habits? Have you already seen a change in any of the things that you buy regularly? Because there still is a 10% tariff. I mean, the reciprocal, like astronomical tariffs for other countries is suspended for 90 days. But there are some tariffs still in place, and I was curious to see how much it has affected people's buying habits. But one thing that you can buy that is Wisconsin-made is a Wisconsin cheese derby hat. Have you seen this? So Wisconsin Cheese is offering hats that are both tasty and tasteful. It's the Rinds and Roses collection, because obviously Derby Day is coming up. So it's basically like a collectible fascinator hat, but they're calling them fromaginators. And literally, it's like roses and cheese on top of a hat with some pretty netting that you can wear to your Derby Day party in a month. Not even a month, a couple weeks from now. All right, ABC News and local headlines are next.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. After backing down on reciprocal tariffs for most countries, President Trump doubled down on levies on Chinese goods, now set at 145%. China, in turn, raising tariffs to 125% on U.S. imports starting tomorrow and has not reached out to talk. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president is open to trade talks with China's leader and remains optimistic, but did not explain why he's optimistic.
I'm not going to comment on communications that are happening or may not be happening, or either way. We'll leave it to our national security team to get these discussions underway.
Consumer sentiment is down over the tariff troubles. Rita Pin-Ahrens is owner of Child's Play Toy Shop in Washington, D.C.
We've already had some manufacturers increase prices on us. So yesterday we saw a surcharge, as it said specifically that it was a tariff surcharge of 15% on an invoice.
Costs that will likely get passed on to the consumer. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. I'm Jessica Ty. The man accused of impregnating and abducting a teenager from Beaver Dam waives extradition. 40-year-old Gary Day is being held in Nebraska after being found with 17-year-old Sophia Franklin last week. He just pleaded not guilty to contributing to the delinquency of a minor and falsely reporting his name to officers. Here in Wisconsin, Day faces 4 felony counts of child abduction and child enticement. Franklin was reported missing on February 2nd. Day is believed to be the father of her unborn child. A recount in Madison leaves the winner in place. Candidate for the 19th Aldermanic District on Madison's west side, Anthony Nino Amato, requested the recount after losing the spring election by just 9 votes. After the recount yesterday, the incumbent still won, but this time by 8 votes. The votes have been certified, and Amato has indicated he intends to waive his right to appeal. And a major expansion is coming to the Bubbler bike system. It plans to add more than 500 electric bikes this year and 800 new individual docks. You can go a lot faster on those e-bikes, right? This will be the largest expansion in Bubbler Bikes history, thanks in part to an increase in federal funding for the bike network. Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Oh, and isn't it kind of nerve-wracking to look at the markets these days? You never know what's happening, but we've got some good news right now. Everything is up. The Dow is up again, past 40,000, but we still have a ways to go. Dow right now up 555 points to 40,148. S&P 500 is up nearly 81 points to 5,349, and the NASDAQ is up 273 points to 16,661. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. Some good news there. We had a couple of crashes out on the system. A handful of disabled vehicles today. It's just one of those days. The crashes have cleared, so that's great news. I do want to let you know I'm seeing some significant delays on I-43 from downtown. Oh, it looks like just a little bit past Burleigh. It lightens up once you get past Keefe. But just a heads up there is significant delays on I-43 downtown to about Shorewood. And here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Mostly sunny, high of 47 by the lake, 53 inland. Tonight, mostly clear, but we're going to see some frost. Low of 34 tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasant, high of 54 by the lake, 60 inland. Sunday, increasing clouds and a slight chance for rain. Our high, though, on Sunday, 56 by the lake, 64 inland, getting up there. Monday, partly cloudy and breezy, a slight chance for rain in the morning hours, high of 59 on Monday. Tuesday, high of 48, so cooler, and partly cloudy and breezy. It's Friday, and I just combined those two words. Cleasy. It sounds like a rock group or something. Sounds like a music group. It is currently 48 degrees in Milwaukee, 52 in Kenosha, and 48 degrees in Mequon. I'm Jessica Ty. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Jake suffered with carpal tunnel syndrome.
Tingling, numbness in my hands and fingers, not sleeping well at night, tossing and turning, trying to manage with pain pills and stretching, and it just wasn't helping.
He didn't want the traditional invasive carpal tunnel surgery.
I had seen people with bandages and scars and clubs for hands. I just don't have time to be incapable of doing things for 6 to 8 to 10 weeks.
Then he learned about the Ovation Hand Institute and the Ovation Technique, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office.
I wanted to get it looked at sooner than later. So I had the virtual consult. It was very thorough as far as like I was sitting in a doctor's office. I was booked for the procedure 2 weeks later, had my right hand done. Very quick procedure. It was really great. That very night when I went home, it was the first time in probably 3 months my hand did not wake me up.
Book an appointment with the Ovation Hand Institute and find out if you're a candidate for the Ovation Technique.
Probably the most surprising thing was how quickly I was able to do things again. I'm cooking dinner, I'm doing yard work and all that kind of stuff the next day.
Visit ovationhand.com. ovationhand.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi, the Wheel and Sprocket 2025 Bike Expo Sale. Return of the nation's largest, I didn't even know this, nation's largest bike sale. This weekend, Wisconsin State Fair Park Exposition Center, free admission. Get this, 2,000 brand new and used bikes. I didn't even know this. If you trade in your old bike, you get a gift card for a new bike, and they got some great deals. I was talking about this truck bike I'm looking at, $349. Lots of great deals, lots of great bikes. You can meet with 50-plus different bike ride groups. I just met with some of those during the break. Free cycling seminars. I'm supposed to be doing an e-bike ride at some point. I'm excited about that. Free admission, as I said. You can visit bikeexposale.com to see what all is happening out here. We are here noon to 8 today, Saturday 10 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 5. State Fair Park, easy to find. Everybody knows what State Fair Park is. Wheel and Sprockets 2025 Bike Expo Sale.
For those with a warm weather fashion passion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristin Brey. I had asked before we went to the bottom of the hour news if you've started to change any of your buying habits because of the tariffs and the potential looming tariffs. And we did have someone who actually found this vineyard when he was on a vacation with Steve Scaffidi in Tuscany. So he said he purchased a case of wine produced in Tuscany, Italy, before the tariffs go into effect. I saw another person say they bought all the stuff they need from Temu before the tariffs went in. And I've actually never bought anything. Have you bought anything from Temu,
God,
Rhea?
no.
What about Shein?
Not Shein either. I did
Is it
cider
Shein
once.
or Shein? I never know how to pronounce it.
I thought it was Shein.
I thought it was Shein. I don't know. But is there anything that you're changing in your buying habits right now?
Mostly just staying inside.
Okay, that's smart. That's smart.
If I don't need it, don't do it.
Well, it's interesting because I was thinking about this in, not collaborating, but like at the same time as the other buying blackouts have been happening as far as people boycotting Target or trying to buy less from Amazon. And we've talked about this in the show before as far as people just trying to buy less stuff.
Yep.
And having nothing to do with the tariffs when it originally was getting proposed. And now it'll be interesting to see how this, like we keep saying, a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, I'm trying to prepare lightly now by just staying inside, doing the bare minimum, reusing what I already have. I have a needle and thread. If it's got a hole, just stitch it up and keep using it.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, shifting gears now, but severe weather can strike quickly. And being behind the wheel can feel particularly vulnerable. So during Severe Weather Awareness Week, we find out what to do if you're in your vehicle.
We've all been there, cruising down the road when suddenly the skies darken ominously, the winds pick up, and the rain starts coming down in sheets. Wisconsin weather can change in an instant, and being caught behind the wheel during severe conditions can be a bit freaky. So what's the first thing we should do to stay safe when Mother Nature throws a curveball? Wisconsin Emergency Management's Katie Rusinellos.
To stay safe while you're driving, the key thing is to reduce your speed. So you want to slow down, especially on those wet roads when we get into those heavy rains.
After all it takes is a few inches of fast-moving water to make your vehicle lose contact with the pavement, and away you go. Not to mention the fact that you don't know what's going on underneath the water. That pavement could actually be washed away. Along with the rain coming down, you may face increased winds. High-profile vehicles like semis have to be especially careful. Start off by having both hands on the wheel to stay in control, but prep is important.
Pretty much pay attention to the weather, because a lot of it is, it's hard to pay attention where you're driving, but one of the good things is if you have wireless emergency alerts enabled on your phone, what happens is a cell phone tower will ping based on your location, and you'll get that tornado warning information. And by then you want to be proactive and not reactive. So start thinking about, where can I safely pull over until the system passes?
Ever wonder what to do about lightning?
Ironically, being in a car is actually safe for you. It's not safe being outside, because you're inside that location, you have those rubber tires, so it is a safe location for you to be. But if you feel unsafe while driving, pull over and find a safe location for you to go. Don't hide under a tree. Get to a building as fast as you can. Don't think, a picnic shelter or even a dugout. That might not be the safest place in a thunderstorm. So think about, if you see a flash of lightning or if you hear thunder, the safest place to go is indoors or inside a car.
And then there's the big dog, the tornado. Contrary to what you see in the movies, they are not very predictable, and they can be super dangerous.
The key thing is to not outrun a tornado. Don't seek shelter underneath an overpass, because the winds are stronger underneath.
You want to try and find a sturdy shelter that you can get into. Obviously, that's preferable, but if you don't find shelter and you're stuck,
pull over and park your vehicle, stay inside of it, put your head below the windows and cover your head with your hands. If you have a blanket nearby, that's even better to cover your head with.
Considerably safer than just laying down in a ditch and hoping for the best. Don't underestimate the power of debris flying around at 150 miles an hour. A 2x4 can be deadly. Oh, and fight the urge to chase the storm. I know it's mesmerizing, but leave it to the professionals. They've studied the storms. They have a better idea of when to call off a chase. There are plenty of videos out on the internet, too, from chasers that you can watch from the comfort and safety of your own couch. Yep, the old adage, if you don't like Wisconsin weather, just wait 5 minutes, is true. With such volatile weather possible, it pays to keep your head on a swivel, your eye on the weather reports, and your wits about you to stay safe. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Enjoy the Fox and Hounds restaurant's fabulous all-you-can-eat fish fry. It's one of the best. The magnificent Sunday brunch is also all-you-can-eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. Call and reserve foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Pain can make you feel like no matter what you try, it's not going to work. Or it can make you try any and everything. And most times, that'll make you feel like you've been taken for a ride. It's hard to believe that there's a solution to your pain problem that works, is safe, and is actually affordable. But that's why most insurance plans pay for pain treatments from Rejuvenex, because they're FDA approved and they do work. Toradol and hyaluronic acid work together to substantially alleviate your pain. And we've seen patients experience pain relief for greater than 2 years after completing a series of treatments. Is it a one and done? No. But at as low as $65 per joint, it's an affordable alternative to surgery. And it's not an expensive cross your fingers and hope it works experiment. Especially for older pain sufferers, the pain treatment that Rejuvenex offers is worth trying, because the vast majority of patients who do live better lives in a lot less pain. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
I've got a fantastic trip that I'm planning right now. I'd love for you to be with us. It's America's Music Cities for the holidays. It's early December. It's an 8-day tour of some great spots. New Orleans, Memphis, and Nashville. Check out New Orleans, the vibrant French Quarter, all decked out for the holidays. Then we're on to the amazing city of Memphis, Elvis Presley's Graceland. It is going to look absolutely fantastic. On to Nashville. We make chocolate, take a horse-drawn carriage ride, and we stay at the magical Opryland Resort. It's with Colette, the travel company I trust. We'll handle all the details for you, flights, meals, hotels, local experiences. I'm going to be there. I want you to be with us. Send me an email. I send you the information. John@WTMJ.com. John@WTMJ.com. Space is limited. We'll discover America's musical legacy wrapped in dazzling lights and seasonal decor. Let me get you the info. I'd love for you to be with us. John, JOHN, @WTMJ.com. It's America's Music Cities with Colette, the travel company I trust.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristin Brey, and yesterday the House passed a budget resolution that paves the way for a hulking fiscal bill. But they also passed, this is the House, so not in the Senate yet, but they also passed the SAVE Act. And so I talked about this a month ago. I wrote one of my op-eds about it, but I can't remember exactly how long ago it was. But it's a bill that critics say could make it harder to vote for millions of Americans. So the full name of it is the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, and it would require people to present in-person proof of citizenship. So this is a U.S. passport or birth certificate in order to update their voter registration. So it would also have states set up programs to remove undocumented people from voter rolls while allowing citizens to sue election officials who don't follow the rules. So supporters of this bill, obviously, I think probably it's needed to, they're saying that it's needed to prevent non-citizens from voting, even though that's already illegal. And so we also in Wisconsin passed a amendment to our Constitution in last fall to put that in our Constitution, even though it was already illegal to vote as a non-citizen. And studies show that is incredibly rare. But voting rights organizations and Democrats, well, at least all Democrats in the House except 4, there were 4 who voted for this, warned that this is going to disproportionately disenfranchise U.S. citizens, especially married women. And so for me personally, I did not change my last name. I didn't take my husband's last name. So my last name still matches what's on my birth certificate. I also have a passport. But if you are someone who has changed their name for any reason, whether it's being married, whether you were adopted, there's going to be, if this passes in the Senate, higher hurdles for you to jump to register or re-register to vote. And so it will also eliminate very popular methods of voter registration, such as online, mail, and registration drives, because of that in-person requirement to be there in an office showing your documentation instead of being able to submit a picture of it and upload it, online or mail it in. It also adds demands to an election workforce that basically, our poor election workers, it's not been an easy go for them since 2020. And so I personally am not, I really hope the Senate does not pass this, because it's going to be a paperwork nightmare for anyone who has to deal with this, especially for rural citizens and for seniors. According to the Brennan Center, over 21 million voting age Americans do not have the necessary documents readily available to register or re-register according to what the requirements would be in this bill. There's also more than 140 million people who do not have a passport. I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of people who do not travel internationally, and so they never would have to have a need to get a passport. So yeah, this was a lot. The fact that this passed yesterday was on my timeline a lot, probably not shocking anyone, but anyone who's kind of like, well, it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be, all you have to do is get a passport. All you have to do is get a real ID. But you're still saying all you have to do is do more work and go through more hoops and find all this documentation. If you've moved, if you've had a situation where, think about other people who just had their houses burned down in California. So more work and more money is voter suppression. And when you create more and more requirements and barriers to vote, that is voter suppression. I mean, to get a passport is expensive. It's $130 for the passport. It's $50 for the first-time app fees and photos. It's $85 for certified copies of your birth certificate and marriage license. And, it's a poll tax, right? And so I am hoping this does not have enough votes to pass the filibuster in the Senate. But it is disappointing that it passed at all. And it's disappointing that 4 Democrats voted for it. So I just wanted to bring that issue up again so people are aware that this is happening, because there's a lot happening and it's hard to stay on top of everything. So when we come back, there's a cleanup this weekend. It's almost Earth Day. So we're going to talk about that on the other side of this on Spanning the State.
A Friday Lent fish fry is a family tradition. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Take your family to the amazing Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford today for their all-you-can-eat Lenten fish fry, just $7.99. You don't need to pay $16 or more. Your Mind Chef fish fry is $7.99. It's all you can eat, and it's delicious. Relax with a sweet old-fashioned, a glass of wine, and ice-cold beer. And there's a kids menu that starts at $3.99. Those kids can safely play in the world-class game room quietly set aside from the dining area while you finish up. Wherever you live, it's worth a drive to the Mind Chef today for your Friday all-you-can-eat Lent fish fry, just $7.99. Wow. Desserts are buy one, get one free. The Mind Chef in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh, just off the interstate. Lots of seating and close parking. And the Sunday brunch is all you can eat. It's a feast. It's under $15. Make a quick call and reserve your $7.99 fish fry. MindChefRestaurant.com.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Berghardt.
Experience one of the greatest choral masterpieces of all time when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra and Milwaukee Symphony Chorus present the Brahms Requiem at the Bradley Symphony Center, April 11th through the 13th. MSO artistic partner Deshaun Burton and Sonia Headlam will be the soloists in this work, which will be conducted by music director Ken David Mazur. The Brahms Requiem is not so much a lamentation for the dead as it is a tuneful, comforting, heartfelt celebration of life. Complete performances of the work only come around every so often, so don't miss this special opportunity to revel in its romantic glory, April 11th through the 13th only. For tickets, call the MSO box office at 414-291-7605 or visit mso.org.
It's the biggest door in your house. Time to give it the attention it deserves. Vince Vitrano here talking about Lifetime Door Company in Brookfield. Updating your garage door increases the value of your home. It's the first thing people see, and it's the best return for your money on investment. At Lifetime Door, if you have an emergency, they'll come out 7 days a week to service existing garage doors and openers. 5% off any service or install at Lifetime Door Company in Brookfield. Get started now, 262-783-4004, lifetimedoor.net.
All right, well, I don't know about you, but I am very, very ready for consistently nice days. And I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we'll probably have to I feel like we probably still have one snowstorm, one of those snowstorms that comes and everything gets melted within 24 hours. But being here long enough, I feel like between April or May, we're going to get one. But tomorrow is going to be almost 60 degrees, if not 60 degrees, mostly sunny. And what a great day to come beautify some neighborhoods. Yes, we are excited that the Tory Low Community Cleanup, presented by 1MKE, is tomorrow, and it's going to start at 8 a.m. and end around noon. I will be there. I think most of our teammates will be there. I went last year. I had Frankie strapped me last year as we were picking up garbage. She's running around now, so I don't think Frankie's going to come because likely she would try to put some garbage in her mouth, knowing her at this stage. But yes, we would love for you to join us for a day of cleaning up different Milwaukee neighborhoods. And so it was a really fun time last year, but the event is going to be held in 3 different locations. So we're looking for volunteers. There is free lunch for everyone who comes. So if you text CLEAN to 855-616-1620, we will send you a link for more information and where you can sign up to join us. But yeah, so it's going to be at the Milwaukee Scholars School, St. Matthew's CME Church, and St. Marcus School. So yeah, like I said, last year was a lot of fun. And I feel like one of those things where I've talked about this before, like being of service and doing something besides just donating money. But when you actually show up and do something for other people or for a neighborhood, at least for myself, there's a little oxytocin that comes with that. You feel a little bit better. You feel like a sense of community. And so I am looking forward to doing that tomorrow. And I am also looking forward to the fact that it will be nice out, because this would be a lot. I would probably still show up because it's a commitment. But if it was raining and cold tomorrow, I'd probably stay for a shorter amount of time than I will tomorrow if it is actually as nice as it's predicted to be. All right. When we come back, we will spin around the state. And then coming up at 2:15, we're going to talk to the older woman who dropped out of her race and still won. So how does that happen? We will find out at 2:15. But for now, top of the hour news.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's Steve Scafidi. I've been on this weight loss journey for about 10 weeks now, currently in the maintenance phase. Hit my goal, 35 pounds. reach my weight loss goal easy, fast, safely, and I'm going to continue working with the wonderful team at Milwaukee Weight Loss.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike at the nation's largest bike sale. I'm Amelia Kegel with Wheel & Sprocket, and our Bike Expo sale is back at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds this weekend inside the Expo building. Electric bikes, road bikes, cargo bikes, mountain bikes, kid bikes, hybrid bikes, all on display and ready to ride. So whether you're seeking health and wellness, adventure and fun, or just a new hobby, the path to your new journey leads to the Bike Expo sale. And remember, all of our bikes come with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, which means you can ride it for 30 days. And if you don't love it, we'll refund your money.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike. Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 5 inside the Expo Center. Visit bikeexposale.com for details. Admission is free.
Life is short. We'll see you at the Bike Expo.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The season has only just begun, and the crew are already back in the desert.
Is a fly ball deep center field, back to the track. Bye-bye baseball, Christian Yelich.
Our Brewers Diamondbacks coverage starts tonight at 8:05 on your home for the Milwaukee Brewers, 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
2 o'clock and currently 48 degrees and partly sunny in Milwaukee. I'm Julia Fellow. Tonight it'll be clear. The low will be 34 degrees, some frost. Sunny tomorrow, 54 at the lake and 60 degrees inland. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the trade war is getting even hotter. Starting tomorrow, China boosts tariffs on U.S. imports to 125%. ABC's Karen Travers.
These are very complex conversations that take place anytime a U.S. president meets with the president of China. When Trump and Xi, or when Biden and Xi have met before, it was months in the making, just for a sit-down meeting, just for a phone call. So this is not necessarily a pick up the phone and chat and try to work this out. There would be a lot that would go into it, and the White House is very much indicating they're waiting for their phone to ring from China.
The announcement comes after the White House pushed up tariffs on Chinese goods to 145%. Consumers growing increasingly nervous about the economy. CBS News business reporter Jason Brooks.
The University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index plunged 11% in April from the previous month, with big spikes in unemployment and inflation expectations. The percentage of consumers expecting higher unemployment in 2025 rose for the fifth straight month to the highest level since 2009. Doubling the level from last November. Inflation expectations for the year ahead soared to 6.7% from 5%, the highest reading in 34 years.
Discussing cleanup efforts for lead dust in Milwaukee Public Schools.
Parents had multiple questions Thursday night for Milwaukee Public Schools amid its lead cleanup efforts.
How many schools have any reportable levels of lead dust consistent with the new EPA rule? How many schools have lead in the soil that exceed 200 micrograms per square foot? Also a new EPA rule.
Milwaukee Health Department Commissioner Dr. Michael Todorias addressed parents why schools had to close for cleaning.
We evaluate the safety of the schools on a daily basis with the district. And, when we do have to take that extreme step of closing a school, that's not done lightly.
Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
3 schools in the district are still closed for lead remediation. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green, way up. Everything over 1%. Dow is up 536. S&P 500 is up 79. NASDAQ is up 272. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 2:03.
Pain, tingling, burning in your hand and wrist, wakes you up at night, makes life difficult. Working with your hands is nearly impossible. If that sounds like you may suffer with carpal tunnel syndrome. The problem is Medicare pays for the old open surgery done in a hospital or surgery center. And it's no walk in the park. Big incision, 6-week recovery. I mean, imagine your hands being bandaged up, unable to use it for 6 weeks. So if you want to, you can have that old open surgery the government says to get, or you have another option. An ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office that can give you immediate relief in 15 minutes and you are back to your life in just 1 day. The Ovation Technique, only at Ovation Hand Institute. You've suffered long enough. You don't have to put the fix off anymore. Visit ovationhand.com and see the difference with your own eyes. ovationhand.com.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at 3 Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Lark.
I love the location, and that's the main reason Dave and I are there, is because of nature all around us. I knew when we moved in, I was leaving behind a lot of stress and responsibility. I decided now is the time to do what I want when I want to do it.
Schedule a tour today at 3pillars.org.
70 years ago, the Blaine brothers founded Blaine's Farm and Fleet as one of the nation's first retail stores to sell goods at a discount. And we've helped supply Midwest farms and families with quality products at unbeatable prices ever since. Like 5-pound bags of Manna Pro Chick Grit with probiotics, $6.99. $2 off Kent Sentinel Horse Feed. Rewards members get $3 off. Plus, visit us at the Midwest Horse Fair for your chance to win over $5,000 in giveaways. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. 2 games remain on the Bucs' regular season schedule, both against the Pistons. Bucs need 1 win to secure the number 5 position in the Eastern Conference playoffs. After taking 2 of the 3 against the Rockies, Brewers begin a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks in Arizona tonight. Both teams are 7-6 in the season. Hear tonight's game right here on WTMJ with coverage beginning at 8:05. Let's take your road to their WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Right now on I-43 South at Good Hope Road, please be aware there is a vehicle that is being towed right now on the right shoulder. So just be aware of that. One more thing is taking place. There's a flatbed truck that is disabled on the right shoulder on 4194 South at Ryan Road. Please be aware there are 2 vehicles there trying to help that person out.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy 1 dinner, get 1 free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy 1, get 1 free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Clear tonight, little frosty, the low will be 34 degrees. Sunny tomorrow, 60 inland, 54 at the lake. A chance of showers Sunday, 64 inland, 56 at the lake. Chance of Monday morning showers, the high will be 59. Breezy Tuesday with a high of 48 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's cloudy at 52 degrees, partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 45 degrees, and Green Bay, partly cloudy, 52 degrees. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time approaching 2:07.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristin Brey.
Indeed, indeed. We do this every day after the 2 o'clock hour news. We bring the big wheel out. We spin around the state. We see what story we might find that you may not have heard of yet. So let's see where we're going first.
Oshkosh.
All right, Oshkosh. Oshkosh's best dressed men will take to the streets again for mental health awareness and prostate cancer research. More than 100 riders are expected to jump on classic and vintage motorcycles in their Sunday best for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride at Beckett's May 18th. So this is the 6th year that Oshkosh is participating in the world's largest motorcycling charity event, which has raised more than $50 million for men's mental health and prostate cancer research since its inception in 2012. So similar to traditional walkathons, every motorcycle rider has their own page and seeks donations, which then go to a global nonprofit organization, Movember, which we did back in November, so the Movember Foundation, to raise awareness and funds for men's health issues. So registration is open and free to all riders, but participants are encouraged to enter as early as possible, as there is a cap on how many people can ride. And so this was initially founded in Sydney, Australia. The Distinguished Gentleman's Ride has seen more than 500,000 motorbike riders from 121 countries participate in the global event over the last 13 years. And so I guess it was inspired by a photo from Mad Men when Don Draper was wearing his suit while riding a motorcycle. But if you look at the pictures, it's pretty fun to see all these guys in. It does look very old school as far as men in tuxedos or three-piece suits riding their motorcycle then with their helmet on. So May 18th in Oshkosh sounds like a good time. All right, let's see where we are going next.
Milwaukee.
All right. So usually the checklist for attending prom is fairly short. You have your dress or your tux, a corsage, transportation, your ticket. But this year, for South Milwaukee High School, students can enter the building, but they will have to take a breathalyzer test first. So, according to a letter about the prom from the South Milwaukee School District, students who do not pass the breathalyzer will be required to have their parents pick them up. This isn't the only hurdle the students will have to face upon arrival. They will also be required to go through the weapons detection, have their belongings searched and check in at registration and receive a wristband. Weapons, liquids, aerosols, tobacco products, nicotine products, drugs, and drug paraphernalia are prohibited from the event, which should not be a surprise. But the following post-prom event will be held at the school from 11:45 p.m. to 2 a.m. with more relaxed rules. What does that mean? Isn't a change of clothes and if verification of whereabouts if they bought a ticket and don't arrive. But no breathalyzers at the after party? That feels like when the fun in quotes, actually starts. But I wonder how many other schools are doing this. This is the first I've ever heard of a breathalyzer test before the prom even gets started. But it did kind of remind me of, so this wasn't my senior prank. This was the grade above my brother's. I think I've mentioned it on the show before, but we're going to tell it again. So this was Madison West, would have been 1999. Somehow the seniors got a hold of high school letterhead and they scanned all of the addresses to every senior's parents. And they sent a letter out to every parent saying, and it was signed from the Libby Burmaster, who ended up becoming the state superintendent, but she was the principal at Madison West at the time, somehow forged her signature and sent a formal letter to every parent saying that they were going to allow alcohol at prom. So if you could imagine what the office was like as far as how many parents were calling into the front office that day after they received that letter.
Did people get suspended? That's insane. Did people get suspended?
I don't think so. Because no one really got hurt. I mean, it was a waste of, obviously the admins, all the administrators' times who had to answer and be like, this was a prank. This isn't real. This is not true. We're not doing this.
That's an insane
But I don't think
prank.
anyone necessarily got in trouble. It wasn't because I think that 2 years after that, when I was a freshman, the senior prank was basically just vandalism. And so they got in trouble because you can't just spray paint the school.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty creative.
Very creative.
I don't know how they got the letterhead.
I know, right? Well, someone in the office. Someone knows somebody.
So, all right. When we come back, speaking of Madison, she dropped out of a Madison City Council race but voters elected her anyways. So we're going to talk about that interesting story on the other side of this.
Brewers baseball is the sound of summer in Milwaukee. And now you can catch the Brewers on local TV for select Tuesday night games.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she
It's
goes!
Brew Crew Tuesdays. On April 15th, the Crew take on the Detroit Tigers at 6:40 p.m.
Half swing. He went. Another strikeout for Freddie
This
Peralta.
Brew Crew Tuesday is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. See the action on Fox 6 in Milwaukee and check your local listings for where you can watch over the air statewide on April 15th.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. We are live at the Wheel and Sprocket 2025 Bike Expo sale. By the way, the nation's largest. Amelia Kegel joining, owner of Wheel and Sprocket. I love this thing. I've met so many cool people here. What should people expect this weekend at State Fair Park?
For one weekend only, we have 2,000 bikes all in one place, but selling bikes isn't good enough for us. We have tons of vendors. We have so many bike rides to sign up for. If you are interested in bikes at all, the experts are here in this building, and you got to come say hi.
I got to ride an e-bike during one of the breaks here. That is cool. I had never ridden one before.
They are game changers. People who thought they couldn't ride bikes anymore, they get an electric bike, and all of a sudden, like, hills, no problem. Like, headwinds, I don't care.
As an older person, I'm 66, it sort of gives you enough boost you can kind of get it done and then still enjoy the bike ride.
Dude, and the power's at your fingertips. Literally, you get to control the boost, and you still got to pedal.
Come out this weekend, State Fair Park, Wheel and Sprocket's 2025 Bike Expo sale.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristin Brey, and last week in the spring election, in the East Side Madison District, Alder Dina Nina Martinez Rutherford faced a challenger, who's a small business owner, Ryan Coughlin. And despite suspending her campaign, voters reelected her by more than 200 votes. I don't know of another time of this happening. Maybe it's happened before, but I thought this story was very interesting. And so Dina Nina Martinez Rutherford joins us now on the phone. How are you doing today, Alderman?
I'm well. I'm still waiting for somebody to come out and say April Fools,
Yeah. So you had served, so you were elected in spring of 2023 and you served one term, correct?
Correct.
And did you like being an alder?
Yes. I mean, it's always a mixed bag, any job you get, right?
Yeah, of course.
I loved being an alder. I love the ability to serve people and really make a difference in people's lives. Like that is what I love.
And so you initially decided to run for re-election and then announced that you were suspending it. Was it hard? Was it a really hard decision to suspend your campaign?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We get into this to do good things for people and continue working for, to improve our community. And looking at what my, early part of this year was going to look like, I just realized that I would not have the ability to really run an effective campaign with some impending surgeries. And, I'm still needing to move in a few months. And this district is one of the most expensive in the city. So,
because you're on the east side of Madison, so if you can give a little bit more geographical, what part of it's District 15, right?
Correct, District 15. So it's part of Sassy neighborhood, which is near the Shanks Corner where Barrymore is. So I'm a block from that, and I have Eastmoreland neighborhood, Lake Edge, Worthington, Darbo, and Glendale, and that goes all the way to almost butts up to Monona.
Okay.
Yeah, so a pretty wide swath with differing needs for each community.
So did you suspend your campaign just thinking that there was too much going on in your own life and thinking that was Coughlin like a pretty competitive, like, did you see him as a pretty good candidate that you're like, I feel confident endorsing, because you did endorse him, right?
Yes, I did. He and I have worked together. He was the president of the Sassy Neighborhood Association, Shank Atwood, Starkweather, Atwood Neighborhood Association. And so, yeah, we had a conversation. I made sure our priorities were pretty close in alignment. And yeah, so I endorsed him, dropped out of the race mid-January, and did nothing except serve my community. Nothing for a campaign, nothing.
But
I think I had 4 yard signs up in the district.
Wow. So, but like we learned with RFK in the fall, RFK Jr. in the fall, your name was still in the ballot because you had not died, and so there was no way to take your name off of the ballot. And here we are. So, what was your reaction when you found out that you had won?
I had gone to support some friends who had contested races, and all of a sudden one of my colleagues was like, "You won," and I'm like, "You've got to be joking." And I just assumed that Ryan would be able to take over the seat, and found that was not the case. So, and yeah, let's talk about being on the ballot, and the only way to get off is being dead. And I was like, that was not an idea I wanted to give anyone in my district.
So were you when you found out, I mean, besides the initial surprise, were you conflicted as far as whether or not you wanted to accept another term?
I was conflicted about what it would look like for me and my own moral character. So I had to delve in deep and see what I thought was right, and that was the confliction. I wanted to make sure that I was not doing anything that was contrary to my moral compass. And after looking at it and talking to a lot of people, knowing that Ryan would automatically get put into the seat, I thought it was prudent to accept. And I definitely don't want to leave my district unrepresented for an extended period of time. So,
because that is an interesting thing that I read, right? Is so that it's not just because since you won the race, even if you don't accept the winning it, what is the process? What would have been the process had you decided not to accept the results?
Yeah, so after they would certify me and I could resign upon certification. And then the process would look like the executive committee for the council would put out a call for resumes and applications, and then that body would deliberate and bring that to the council to choose who they wished to serve.
So it's basically like a job application and they hire someone.
Fully, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess now that you're going to serve another term, what are you looking forward to tackling as far as improvements in Madison?
Well, I have some projects that I've been working on, a community initiative to help find some emergency shelter for individuals fleeing intimate partner violence. So I'm looking forward to continuing that work with the community leaders to see if we can sort that out. And I've got some initiatives that would improve affordable housing and missing middle housing and home ownership for people. So I'm really looking forward to ushering those in and, supporting the trans community at every way I can during this wild turn in history.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, have you heard of anything like this happening prior?
I have not.
I have not either. This was a great story. Maybe not for Coughlin, but for you.
I know. Bless his heart. He's such a nice guy. I'm honored, to be a trans person and have people vote for you without you being, running a campaign is incredible. And the fact that I've not heard of anything like this happening before is pretty wild. So I am still waiting for someone to be joking.
Well, I think it probably speaks to how well you did represent your district in your first term as far as what you mean to that community. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks for joining us today, Dina.
It's a pleasure. Always lovely to hang out with y'all.
Absolutely. She is Alder Dina Nina Martinez Rutherford, who just won despite suspending her campaign by 200 votes in her re-election campaign last week for the Madison City Council. All right, we'll do this, and then there's more.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control. But not only that, regular care with Connect Chiro can bring back your energy. A lot of folks start with headaches, back pain, and shoulder pain. How quickly you see results varies from person to person, but time and repetition are the key to staying on track. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiro docs use a special tool for all your adjustments, targeted results, and a gentler experience. Check out the new location in Oak Creek or get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spirit wear is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spirit wear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spirit wear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickert. One of our senior loan consultants recently helped their first-time homebuyer client win over 13 other offers. Of course, it was a team effort with their buyer's agent, and it centered around helping our clients understand what little difference there was to their monthly payment to offer over the asking price. And again, what little difference it would make to give the sellers peace of mind that they'd still buy even if the appraisal came in up to $20,000 short. But that's not all. Our consultant also texted and called the listing agent to reinforce how well qualified our buyers were and that they could, in fact, still close even if the appraisal came in low. Your AccuNet consultant will help you understand your options so you can decide how aggressive you want to be. Then we do everything possible to help you win. Don't let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Know your options and get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets to the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois, age 21 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristin Brey. Guess what's happening this weekend?
Ooh, I don't know.
The Milwaukee Tattoo Festival.
Is it? Okay, I've been wanting to go.
Really?
Yes, I want to get a tattoo so bad this year. It's on like my bucket list, and it's just been pushed back a lot. And
you don't have any tattoos now?
I have no tattoos now.
Okay.
Piercings, but no tattoos.
Okay. So it's more than 200 tattoo artists are going to show their skills at the Milwaukee Tattoo Festival. This is going to happen at the Baird Center. It's from noon to 10 p.m. Today? Starts today. So today, it's 11, and then today, so today was noon to 10 p.m. Tomorrow's 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and then 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday. And then tickets are $30 or $65. 30 for a day, 65 for the weekend. And kids 12 or younger are free.
Oh, wow. I wonder if they
I don't know if the kids are getting tattoos or it's just if you're bringing your kid to check it out. And it reminded me of, have you ever been to like a party or a wedding reception that has a tattoo artist?
Like an actual tattoo?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I have not.
So the first time I ever saw this was a friend's very wealthy friend's wedding in Illinois. And so they had their wedding, then they had the reception, and then they had the after party. And at the after party, they had a mechanical bull.
Oh my gosh.
Which because by the after party, certainly no one was staying on that thing for more than 2 seconds. Yeah. But they also had a tattoo artist, which again, being fairly inebriated, like post 11 p.m. at an open bar situation, I can't remember how many people actually ended up getting tattoos there, but I was considering it. My brother was also at the wedding. He did not he didn't let me, but he strongly discouraged me from doing it. So I decided, because I also didn't know what I would want. Yeah. But then I was at Third Space Brewing last summer for my birthday, and I forgot what event they were having that day, but they had a tattoo artist there, and you could only pick from like 4 different predetermined tattoos, which to me feels like, I don't want the same tattoo as someone else.
That's true.
And so that's what I wonder for the Tattoo Fest. Like, if you show up, do you come with what you want?
I looked it up and I was like, never mind. All the artists were not like the ones that I wanted my tattoo to look like. So I just said, never mind. But I think it's kind of half and half to my knowledge.
Okay. What would you get?
I want to get a Taurus symbol on my wrist here. Okay. And then there's my late grandma had like a signature. So I was going to get that tattooed at some point too.
I like that. Yeah. I like both of those. But yeah, I was curious as far as how much you kind of you can come up and say, this is what I want. Because some of these tattoos, especially if you're getting like a sleeve or anything, would take hours. And so it's interesting to me to go to a festival. Maybe I'll go just to check. Well, I don't really have time this weekend. But just as far as, I don't know, tattoos feel like kind of an intimate thing to get.
Right.
And to get them in the middle of the Baird Center with like hundreds or maybe thousands of people just like walking by being like, hey, cool.
I think it's also like workshop or just like window shop your favorite tattoo artist. You can go see them out later. But this they come back like every quarter or something like that. And then you can just say, oh, this guy's from Texas. When I go to Texas next time, I'll fly out and get my tattoo from him.
I have one tattoo. I have one tattoo on my foot. It's a compass rose that I drew in high school. This is the most This is maybe one of the most embarrassing stories about me that I will share. I don't think I've ever shared this on air. So it's a compass rose that I drew. And at this point, when I drew it, I was already in California. So I had moved to California. I was doing the acting thing. And I wanted the west to be facing like towards my toes.
Right.
So like, go west, young man. And because I had gone west to go pursue acting. And the west is forward. Years later, not like immediately, like years later after I had transferred, I just quit acting. I was in college. A friend of mine, her boyfriend, looked at my foot when I was wearing sandals one day and he goes, it's backwards.
Stop it.
Backwards tattoo. He had flipped it. So where north is should be on the opposite side of west, facing that direction. All right. ABC News and local headlines are next.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. President Trump acknowledged there could be transition costs before he closes trade deals with countries, and China could be the toughest deal. That's added more uncertainty for investors and everyday Americans. Investopedia editor-in-chief Caleb Silver says U.S. bonds are typically a place investors shift during sell-offs, but not now.
The U.S. 10-year Treasury is the most widely held, most trusted asset on planet Earth. It's held by countries like China, Japan, throughout Europe, but also the biggest institutional investors and the biggest hedge funds. When you see them selling treasuries, prices falling and yields rising, it tells you that they have growing doubts about the United States economy ability to continue to grow as it faces higher tariffs and probably higher inflation, maybe slowing growth, but also this administration's ability to keep its word and have a coherent strategy around tariffs.
Investors trying to turn the tide after more than a week of steep losses due to tariffs. Markets are up in the final hours of trading. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:31. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story, the man accused of impregnating and abducting a teenager from Beaver Dam waives extradition. 40-year-old Gary Day is being held in Nebraska after being found with 17-year-old Sophia Franklin last week. He pled not guilty to contributing to the delinquency of a minor and falsely reporting his name to officers. Here in Wisconsin, he faces 4 felony counts of child abduction and enticement. Franklin was reported missing in February. Day is believed to be the father of her unborn child. Our recount in Madison leaves the winner in place. Candidate from the west side of Madison, Anthony Nino Amato, requested the recount after losing the spring election by 9 votes. After the recount yesterday, Alderman Ugar still won, this time by 8 votes, though. The votes have been certified. Amato has indicated he intends to waive his right to an appeal. A major expansion coming to Bubbler Bike System. Plans to add 500 electric bikes this year and 800 new individual docks. It'll be the largest expansion in Bubbler Bikes history. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Dow is up more than 1.5%, up 649. S&P 500 up 1.8%, up 96. NASDAQ is up almost 2%, up 317. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's take a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have one incident still going on. 4194 South at Bryan Road, the right shoulder is blocked because there is a disabled flatbed truck. There's still 2 vehicles trying to help out. There's slowdowns with people looking. Everything else is normal. Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny today. The high is 53 today. Tonight, frost. Expect frost. It'll be mostly clear, though, a low of 34. Saturday, sunny and pleasant. 60 inland, 54 at the lake. Sunday, a slight chance of showers throughout the day. 64 inland, 56 at the lake. Monday, partly cloudy, breezy, a chance of morning showers. A high of 59. And Tuesday, breezy with a high of 48. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 45 degrees and partly cloudy. In Green Bay, it's 52 degrees. And in Madison, it's 52 degrees. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:34.
Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus promises hope even to the criminal being crucified alongside him. This is Archbishop Jeffrey Grob. During this Jubilee year, the Holy Father has asked us to be signs of hope for others. Our brothers and sisters who are imprisoned, sick, or disabled may feel like there is very little hope for them. We are to visit them, provide care for them, and be a sign of Jesus' hope in their lives. It's Lent. Please join us at Mass.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Finney. You're live at the Wheel and Sprocket 2025 Bike Expo sale. A little lull in the afternoon action, but they are here all day till 8 p.m. tonight, Saturday and Sunday as well. And it's free, so check it out. There's a million bikes here. That's an exaggeration, but they're very cool bikes and some great prices. I'm looking at one, a Trek bike, $349. Are you kidding me? Awesome. You can actually trade in your old bike for a new coupon for a new bike. I love that. All kinds of bike groups, bikes, accessories, trips, trail rides. Talk to a mountain bike guy. All available for you right here at Wisconsin State Fair Park Exposition Center all weekend, free admission. And by the way, this is the largest bike sale in the country. I did not know that until I showed up here today. Hundreds of e-bikes. I just rode one, and you'll see it on our social media pretty soon, so check that out. I did not fall, so a win for me. Everything about bikes, Wheel and Sprocket 2025 Bike Expo Sale. You can check it out at bikeexposale.com.
You've got several kids, or your job and other commitments keep you buried with work.
Meanwhile, the clutter is piling up at home. How can people stay tidy when their lives are in chaos?
We have a solution to help you chase away the chaos.
Yes. He's Dan, and I'm Katie. Together, we're Inspired Closets.
Our team at Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space via gorgeous closet renovations.
And our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer. Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Well, welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristin Brey, and we were talking about tattoos before, and I embarrassingly admitted my backwards tattoo. But I also feel like it kind of fits me and some of my clumsiness of not always perfectly paying attention to the details on things. But I agree. Someone from the 414 texted in and says, once you've had a couple of tattoos, you keep wanting more. And that's kind of the big surprise to me, is that I never got another one. I have a secret Pinterest board that has all of the tattoos I ever thought I might get. And whenever I look back, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy I didn't get that one. It was a little on the nose.
Would you and Mike ever get a matching tattoo?
Oh, a matching tattoo? I don't know. He has a divorce tattoo.
Nice.
So he has one that he got because I'm his second wife. And it says, live a great story, which is a good message, except it's like a lifestyle brand. So he got the idea because he went on Yacht Week post-divorce, and one of the flags on one of the boats was the lifestyle brand, like, that's called Live a Great Story, and he just really liked the message, and so that's the That's the tattoo that he got. And so in both of our vows, which we surprised each other with, we made references to our backwards and our silly tattoos, which I thought was pretty funny.
I love that.
Yeah. So, but it is almost time to play the game. So if you feel like you've been paying attention to the news this week, this is your time to shine because this is a news trivia. News this week, most of them are multiple choice, so not too hard, I hope. But get that finger ready to dial 855-616-1620, the WTMJ Citing Unlimited talk and text line. But first, up and down goes the market, a mammoth comeback for the Bucks, a tragedy in the Hudson River, and more. It's the Week in Review brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
A headline grabbed my attention here during the news break. Stocks gyrate wildly on third day of market mayhem.
Please keep your hands and arms inside the train.
Investors bracing for another sell-off on Wall Street.
We've gone from a record high in the stock market to a market that's down double digits.
What's going to happen with the market, I can't tell you.
When the billionaires and the CEOs are worried about where the economy's going, the rest of us should be really worried.
I know what the hell I'm doing. These countries are calling us kissing my ass. Please, sir, make a deal.
What we saw yesterday in the stock market was tremendous volatility.
Hopefully, the market's trying to approximate a bottom.
President Trump says this is a great time to buy on social media, and investors seem to agree.
First of all, it's a stunning reversal.
All-time record day, and hopefully it continues. I think it should.
Beijing announced a new round of retaliation to Trump's tariffs on them.
Trump has now increased tariffs on China from 104% to 125%.
He thinks it's a game. He almost thinks it's fun.
Gyrate wildly.
Condon secures it, and Florida found a way from 12 down to the school's third national championship in men's basketball.
Y todo ha terminado! Houston, you have a problem!
Houston, we have a problem. The strange case of Justice Michael Gableman.
Gableman has agreed to surrender his law license.
It all started really, in our context, with the investigation, and air quoting that, into the 2020 election. Why was this allowed to happen?
This is what happens when you don't have character or backbone, and instead you get pressured by your so-called supporters.
Don't call it a comeback.
Corkscrews down the lane, sheds the defender, and sends it down. A little ferocious one-hand slam. AJ fires up a transition three, and he drills it. The Bucks have officially re-entered the conversation. It's on the deck, picked up by Trent. Feeds it ahead. Porter's behind the pack. He stuffs it down. A monster come from behind win from Milwaukee. They come from 24 down. What a game.
The homicide case against Nikita Kasap took another step forward in Waukesha County Court.
The BMO Bank card was used at various gas stations from Iowa all the way through to Wyoming.
A former warden at Waupun Correctional agrees to plead to misconduct.
Alverson's 1-0 pitch is a fly ball deep center field, back to the track. Bye-bye baseball, Christian Yelich. 17-2. The Brewers dominate the Rockies.
Boat race.
Absolutely boat race.
We had a little bit of breaking news that I have just been told. Wisconsin Democrats chair, Ben Wickler, has stepped down.
He'll serve out the remainder of his term and then step down after a predecessor is named at the state party convention in June.
The man accused of impregnating and abducting a teen from Beaver Dam is waiving extradition.
40-year-old Gary Day is being held in Sarpy County, Nebraska after being found with 17-year-old Sophia Franklin last Thursday.
We are recognizing a law that includes victims more. It's called Marcy's Law. The 5th anniversary, Wisconsin has had this in effect. Jessica Strand, Director of Victim and Witness Services for the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office.
Victims now have the right to speak when requested at proceedings.
A growing line of grieving relatives, desperate for answers, gathering outside what's left of the Jet Set nightclub. A man points at the roof, saying something fell. Within seconds, the collapse and screams as the video goes dark.
All right, so this is confirmed. We got a helicopter in the water.
The helicopter went down closer to the New Jersey side of the Hudson River.
As I could see it from the Staten Island ferry, there were a lot of flashing lights on the river itself.
All 6 victims have been removed from the water.
What are we, gay?
Houston!
Gyrate wildly.
It wasn't like moose.
Trash!
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
That is the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. And if you didn't get enough of a review there, we are going to review some trivia questions based off of the news this week. So if you would like to play for your chance to win the WTMJ prize pack worth lots of money, so much money, call now. Citing Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. Give us a call. You will play. Let's see how much you were paying attention this week. Citing Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. We'll take callers 3 and 4. Be nice to Rhea as always. And so here we go. Let's play a game when we come back.
Experience one of the greatest choral masterpieces of all time when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra and Milwaukee Symphony Chorus present the Brahms Requiem at the Bradley Symphony Center, April 11th through the 13th. MSO artistic partner Deshaun Burton and Sonia Headlam will be the soloists in this work, which will be conducted by music director Ken David Mazur. The Brahms Requiem is not so much a lamentation for the dead as it is a tuneful, comforting, heartfelt celebration of life. Complete performances of the work only come around every so often, so don't miss this special opportunity to revel in its romantic glory, April 11th through the 13th only. For tickets, call the MSO box office at 414-291-7605 or visit mso.org.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlawns.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're due for service.
Rich Lawns.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's Steve Scafidi. I've been on this weight loss journey for about 10 weeks now, currently in the maintenance phase. Hit my goal, 35 pounds. Reached my weight loss goal easy, fast, safely, and I'm going to continue working with a wonderful team at Milwaukee Weight Loss.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
The most common reason pain sufferers come to us is to be able to perform their daily tasks without suffering through them. Grandparents who want to be able to take their grandkids on walks and to the park, or those that just want to be able to get out of their vehicle with more ease than pain. Rejuvenex pain treatments can help, and the sooner you get to calming down that pain, the better it will be. These are powerful, FDA-approved pain treatments precisely administered with an extremely small needle to get to the root of your pain. And before you know it, you'll feel the anti-inflammatory power of Toradol and the cushioning relief of hyaluronic acid. Positive patient results are regularities, not rarities. And we do this conveniently in office, so it's very easy for you. And we're in network with most insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, which could mean zero out-of-pocket costs for your pain relief treatment. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Let's play a game. Come on down! How fun!
I'm ready. Pick me, pick me, pick me. Put on your thinking caps. It's time for the Ha Ha Friday Fun Time Grandiloquent Game Show. Put your hands together and welcome your quizmasters, Kristin Brey.
Let's play.
Indeed, indeed. It is that time before we check out for the weekend to play a little game. And I came up with this one today based on the news. A lot happened this week. A lot happened in sports. A lot happened in the market. A lot happened in politics. So I thought it might be a fun way to end the week to see how closely some of our listeners were paying attention. So let's find out who is going to play today. Kathy from Saukville. How you doing today, Kathy?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Doing great. Ready for the weekend? Ready to do some cleanup tomorrow with Tori Lowe? But yeah, what do you do in Saukville?
I'm retired.
Nice.
Yes.
Lovely. Yeah. So you have a lot of time to follow the news.
I do. I hope so.
We'll find out. We will certainly find out. All right. Let's see how Thomas is doing. Thomas in West Bend, how are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, I am also well. And so what do you do in West Bend?
It's the fastener engineer once again.
Yes, once again. We love hearing from you, Thomas. All right, so I have come up with a handful of questions based off of news headlines from this week. As always, we will go back and forth, and the first one to 5, or when time runs out, will be the winner. So, ladies go first. Kathy, let's start with you. So, a bioscience company this week said it brought back what animal from extinction? Was it the mammoth, the dire wolf, the snow bear, or the woolly mouse?
The dire wolf.
Got it. Dire wolf. So yes, Colossal Biosciences said it modified the gray wolf genome based on the knowledge gleaned from ancient dire wolf DNA. So then they created embryos. So there's a little, some people are saying this isn't really true de-extinction, but that's what they claimed. So, all right, Kathy, you are on the board. All right, Thomas, fill in the blanks. This week, President Trump said he would, quote, end the Obama-Biden war on blank and make America's blank great again. Is it coal mining and electricity, non-fluoridated water and IQ, shower pressure and showers, or literacy programs and libraries?
Easy. Final answer, showers.
Yes, indeed. Yes. According to the executive order issued Wednesday, the president wants to end the Obama-Biden war on water pressure and make America's showers great again. All right, back to Kathy. Which Wisconsin political leader stepped down this week? Brian Schimming, Ben Wickler, Sarah Godlewski, or Paul Farrow?
Paul Farrow.
Oh, no. Unfortunately, it was Ben Wickler. It was breaking news yesterday that he has stepped down and will not seek re-election. All right. Thomas, your chance to take the lead. How many goals did Alex Ovechkin need to break Wayne Gretzky's NHL scoring record? Was it 785, 956, 8,000, or 895?
895.
Got it. All right, 2-1. Kathy, which American literary classic turned 100 this week? Was it Moby Dick, The Road, The Great Gatsby, or Huckleberry Finn?
Huckleberry Finn.
Oh, no, it was Great Gatsby. All right, Thomas, a judge ordered the Trump administration to allow what news agency to return to the White House? Is it Reuters, Associated Press, The New York Times, or Al Jazeera?
I'll guess Al Jazeera.
No, it was actually Associated Press. All right, still 2-1, Kathy. What much anticipated video game event has been delayed due to tariffs? Is it the release of The Sims 5, the opening of a Minecraft movie, pre-ordering for Nintendo Switch 2, or the announcement of Sony PlayStation 6?
Nintendo Switch 2.
Got it. All right, 2-2. All right, Thomas, spell tariff.
Pardon?
Can you spell the word tariff? Because people have been spelling it wrong this week, so we're going to see if you can spell it.
Tariff.
Got it. Some people have been adding an extra R in there, so we just wanted to make sure. All right, 3-2. Kathy, the Masters have begun. What golfer is trying to defend his title? Is it John Ram, Scotty Scheffler, Hideki Matsuyama, or Bubba Watson?
Scotty Scheffler.
Got it. All right. Wow, we're getting close. It's 3-3. Thomas, March Madness wrapped up. Who won the men's and women's tournaments respectively? Was it Florida and UConn, Florida and South Carolina, Houston, South Carolina, Houston and UConn?
Florida and UConn.
Got it. All right. 4-3. All right, Kathy. Which NBA coach was fired this week despite having his team firmly in position to make the playoffs? Is it Doc Rivers with the Bucks, Tyronn Lue with the Clippers, Tom Thibodeau with the Knicks, or Michael Malone with the Nuggets?
Michael Malone.
Oh, wow. There you go. Following the NBA. It's tied. All right. So this is what we're going to do. This one's kind of a hard one. So I'm going to say it. Say your name, and whoever says their name first, I will let you answer. And if you get it, you win. Otherwise, the other person has a chance to steal. All right. So the Nintendo of America president shares the name of which Nintendo character? Is it Zelda, Mario, Bowser, or Kirby? Thomas.
Mario.
No, it's not. Kathy, do you have another guess?
Kirby.
Oh, no, it's Bowser. It's Doug Bowser. All right, we got to... we're going to have you both be winners. You know what? I'm in a good mood. WTMJ. All right, you both stay on the line. Rhea will get your information, and have a great weekend, and thanks for listening and playing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back to wrap things up after this.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty each weekday.
Jessica's going to carry the show while I watch round one of the Masters. Thank you in advance for handling things today.
Oh, yeah. You're out, huh? Isn't that what you said to me when the NCAA tournament started?
Yes, and I was here mostly.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
Right there at your fingertips, wherever you get your podcast, find us.
Powered by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Hey, boaters!
Now, I wasn't eavesdropping. I just happened to overhear him talking about us. He said if you know what you're looking for, just rummage around. You'll find it. And it's true, because we stock more boat parts and accessories than anyone. Even those oddball parts you thought you'd never find. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters!
Truly the best supplier around for all of our boating needs. This place is magic. I call it my candy store for boating parts. This is Dave Doro from Kendor Marine. And yeah, I said it, but these are the actual words of our satisfied and loyal customers. Boaters in the know exactly where to go, and there's a reason. We've got it all for our boater buddies. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala. Nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
Indeed. Again, congrats to Kathy and Thomas, who did really well on the news trivia game. But yes, we are getting out of here. Wisconsin's Afternoon News is coming up next. But thank you to everyone who listened this week. We are going to have a little teaser. We're going to have an announcement on Monday. You maybe have observed some changes that have been happening, so we can finally talk about it on Monday. So stay tuned. Come back for for that. But first, we're going to hand it over to John and Julia for Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Have a great weekend.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant